your authentic self. That's what today's video is about. I feel so inspired to share with you the 4 keys how you can be more of it. Now, why is it so important for us to be authentic? My friend, there's only one you in this world. When we're not ourselves, that when we feel suffocated, and when we get to be our authentic self, that's where you truly experience freedom. And you know, at the end of the day, after you get a job, make money, marry, have kids in relationship, ultimately, I believe that all of us, as an individual soul in this meat package, we want to experience deep freedom. And in that space of deep freedom, that's where you get to experience the full range of human experience, from deep love to deep joy, ecstasy, and yes, that pain along the way too. That's being human. So that's the part of being your authentic self. So then you get to be you. So in that, let me share with you 4 simple keys from my perspective that will perhaps help you dive deeper, to peel the layers so you can come closer to you, so you can be more free in yourself. So first is to understand and accept the different parts of you. Now you probably can relate, right? This feel that this congruency is feel like yourself being fragmented to different pieces. One of my dear friend colleagues who also wrote a book, Conscious You, Be the Hero of Your Own Journey, and I think in her book she said that as soul we are complete as a whole, and then we choose to defragment ourselves into pieces and then forget that we are whole. So part of us being a human experience, to come in this meat package, to meat body, is the journey, is to put those pieces back together. Now, so that's the big scope of the spirituality of self. But in the present term of like the earth term, you know, in our life, that we grow up in different culture, different family, different narrative, different influences, and the way you wiring is so uniquely different. And as we grow up, we have a sense of our ego, we have a sense of importance, so we take on different identity, right? Different identity to fit in, different identity to survive, different identity for different purpose. So sometimes it feels like there's so many pieces of us, of the version of you of what your parent want you to be, the version of you of what your husband want you to be, a version of you of what your teacher want you to be. And we create so many layers of ourselves outside of that. It feels distant. There's a gap between of how you show up in the world and how you actually are, the core essence of who you are. So understand that there are parts of you influenced by so many different external factors, unconsciously and consciously. And to be able to have that understanding, by having understanding, you can have compassion for yourself. And by having that compassion, then you can come to acceptance of that. So you don't persist, you don't fight yourself. So you're not in internal conflict with yourself. So you don't feel suffocated, either by you or by society or by the external factors. So that's the first key, is to understand and accepting that. And the second key is, once you get to that, it's important to peel those layers. Right? They talk about the inner work, peeling the onions. So then in this case, whatever the identity you take on that is no longer true for you anymore, you get to make a choice to release those identities that no longer serve you, to release the pattern that no longer serve you, to release the behavior that no longer serve you now. Maybe at one point in your life it served you, but not serving you anymore. Like for me personally, one of my old way of being is, you know, I perform out of fear, I perform out of my ego and my pride, and it did good for me to fit into the world, to be accepted by the world, even though you know, at the cost of myself. And now to have that awareness, right, I learned to understand the different part of me and accepting that, and also have done the work and continue to do the work to release the pattern, the behavior, the part of me that's not really representing me anymore, with outside help, with my own work. So then I can remove all the blocks. Really what it is it's just blocking me away from my own heart. And your heart, in my opinion, is the closest thing to you and who you are. So by peeling those, it will make it easy for you to connect to your heart, which is point number 3. Is in order to be authentic to yourself, is to be authentic to your heart. Your heart is the compass of how you feel. Your heart is its own brain. You know, if you read or watch things from the Heart Math Institute, they have done research that the heart exudes so much more power than even the brain. So your heart is the gateway, I think, to you and to your soul. And by peeling the layer, it make it easy to connect to your heart, and connect to your heart 1 a.m. at a time, which is one authentic moment at a time. And if you're so used to be somebody else your whole life, it's going to be a little bit challenging at first. But that's the practice. That's the whole point of learning to have a relationship with yourself. Learning how to check in. How am I feeling about this? How am I feeling about this conversation with this person? How am I feeling about my mom asking me to do this? How am I feeling about this food? So maybe your whole life that you've been eating certain way because of the culture of the family, but your unique wiring actually want to eat certain way differently. So then trust that whatever that your heart desire, connect to it. And then of course you can connect the information and discern it and make the decision that's serving you, because not everything that we feel we have to act on, right? But our feeling is a great gateway, a great compass to nudge you certain direction, because ultimately you still the captain of your ship. You still can connect to your thinking, because the whole idea is we not disregard your mind, your thinking, to connect to the heart only, because they all are important: mind, body, and spirit. Your mind serves its purpose for thinking, for discerning, for filtering the world. Your heart is purpose is to feel, to pump blood. That's the biological purpose, but the purpose is for you to feel connecting to your truth, because the truth is the heart knows what it knows, right? The heart wants what it wants, and sometimes we fight it, and that's where the conflict is. So the third point is to connect to your heart, because connecting to your heart is what's gonna bring you to you, what's gonna give you true freedom, and really a gateway for you to have the courage to be in the moment, because that's where the peace is, that's where the joy is. Because at the end of the day, you know this, you can be successful in the society term. You can have the fast car, the nice house, amazing job with respect, but then if you're not into connecting your heart, you're not gonna feel that fulfillment, that joy, because you're not connecting to you. And I know there's a lot of teaching out there say being authentic to yourself, and yeah, maybe that is the point to that, but the reality, I think, is to really take that time and really be in it, which is take to step number 4 now, is as you connecting to your heart, embrace this journey for what it is. Embrace your human journey, because being a wholehearted, I know you have certain ideal, right? Perhaps even certain expectations, because you willing to work for things, you willing to do, you willing to show up, and honoring your journey from one moment at a time for what it is, my friend. Because when it comes to heart matter, it's not linear like how the minds work. And give yourself that grace to get used to a different kind of being that you may be familiar with. And in that, you can fully integrate what your heart is about, who you are about. And then you can choose to think, to discern, and choose how to show up in each moment where you feel, like Brené Brown said, to belong to yourself first, right? Belong to yourself and choose where you want to belong in the world. Choose how you want to fit into the world, because your life is in your own hand. Your heart is in your own hand. Your life is your own choosing, and you have that power. There is such a beautiful thing to be authentic to yourself, to be your authentic self. And I hope that this video will inspire you to dive deeper into that. Now, it's, like everything else, it's not easy. Easy said than done. But that is the work. So put your heart into you and really have your hands out and hold your heart to the highest regard. Allow yourself to peel the layer and learn to accept all parts of you, the right arm, the left arm, the finger, the hair, the boob, the butt, the hand, whatever it is that you, the physical being and the emotional being, the mental being that you are, the spiritual being, accept all of it, because you are whole. And I'm going to wrap it up with my with Nadia Tarnstravsky, you know, when I wrote the book, is remember we are whole, we're just defragmenting ourselves, and the journey is to bring ourselves back. So you're already there. So enjoy your human journey. Thank you so much for hanging with me, for listening to me as always. If you feel this is helpful, please share with those souls that you feel that's going to be beneficial for them. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and then set on notification, and we'll let you know when the next video come out. And yeah, so that's all I got. So from my heart to yours, and from Hawaii to wherever you are in the world. Aloha.